Today we're talking about the classic Weezer song, Say It Ain't So, which was proactively written about the CW deciding to cancel Vampire Diaries. And it sounds something like this. So first of all, this is actually tuned down a half step. So instead of an E, it's an E flat. Instead of an A, it's an A flat, so on and so forth. I actually did downtune this, and I'm super proud of myself. But you don't need to downtune. You can just play it by itself, and it's going to sound fine. But if you want to play along to the song, you do have to downtune half a step. All right. But we're still going to talk about the chords as far as where they are on the neck. So for instance, if we're starting on the 4th fret of the A string, we're going to call this a C sharp minor, even though technically we're playing a C minor because it's down, right? So this is a really cool lesson in hammering on chords and also adding dissonance to a song. And I remember this is actually the first song I learned that had a chord hammer on, okay? So maybe when you're first starting out, you just hammer on single notes, but you can also hammer on entire chords. So what we're gonna do is we're going to start on the 4th fret, and we're going to bar with your pointer finger the A, D, G, and B strings, okay? And we're eventually going to play this C sharp minor chord, which is 4A, 6D, 4G, and 5B, but your ring finger and your middle finger aren't going to come on until after you strike the chord, okay? So it's just one strum, but you're going to hammer on that chord shape to a minor 7 chord shape, okay? And then we're going to move that same shape up a string, and we're going to add some dissonance here, okay? And this is really cool. So basically this is just a major bar chord shape with the B and E strings open. So we've got 4E, 6A, 6D, and 5G, okay? Now, this song is actually in the key of E major. So we actually have a G sharp in this, but G sharp should be a minor chord. So if we're adding some of these open strings in there and you play a G sharp minor chord shape, it'll sound okay. But the fact that we have this major chord shape, basically the 5th fret on the G string is rubbing up against that open B. So it's like a B and a C being played together. And even in the key of C, it'll create a little bit of dissonance tension, but especially in this key where it's supposed to be, the 3 chords are supposed to be minor, create some cool tension, which is cool. All right, so the way we're gonna play it is after this hammer on, and we get that little bit of tension there. We're gonna strike the A string again, and then E, D, G, B. All right, E, D, G, B is where we get that kind of little run. Okay, and then after this, we're gonna slide from 4 to 5. To open E. So once we get that slide in, we're sliding into the A chord, which is the 4 chord in the key of E, E, F sharp, G, A, which is major, and we can still add those open strings, which is a really cool thing that you can do in the key of E, because you know that the B and E strings are important notes in the key of E, being the 1 and the 5. So really you can add any of those open strings to any chord in the key of E, and it'll sound fine. It'll sound actually really cool, depending on how you want to do it. But we're sliding from a G sharp to an A to an E. And I like kind of keeping the same shape. Instead of going from this to this, but really however you want to do it. Then after that, we've got this kind of little lick going on here. Open E, A string, 9 to 11 hammer on, and then maybe like a double stop, if you will, where we're taking 9D and 9G, maybe even 9B if you want to get crazy with it, and sliding it backwards. And the cool thing about this is if you think about what we're sliding back, it's actually kind of like the bottom of an E major A string rooted bar chord shape. So that's why it sounds really kind of pleasant there, because it is kind of a little bit of home bass here. So C sharp minor to this G sharp major dissonant kind of thing, slide to the 4 chord to home, E hammer, back to the beginning. Oh yeah. Awesome song. definitely off of what I consider, well, Weezer's my favorite Weezer album for sure. Just an album packed with awesome songs, awesome guitar songs. So check it out. Definitely work on, hammering these kind of minor 7. In my own personal playing, I hammer on minor 7 chords every single chance I get because I think it sounds fantastic. And then just maybe think about, what key you're in and where the open strings can help you out, kind of create like a dissonance, or maybe something kind of pretty. And just be more thoughtful about your playing. You can recognize it in other songs from artists that you like. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.